Yeah.
We're going to do this thing again.
Every time's a charm. We're going to get it right now.
We're back. We're sorry we had a power outage. But we're ready to continue. Start from the beginning again and interview Alfie. Welcome to the Doris Hall James Indie Show. This Indie Show is a platform to showcase artists' musical journeys. Today, my special guest is no other than the legendary, and I said the legendary, Alfie Pollit. Alfie has been around forever. He knows everybody, everybody knows him. He is a pianist, a composer, an entertainer, and he has played and performed with the best. He's a musical genius. Yes, he is. Come on over here, Alfie.
Come on over here, Mr. Pollit.
Okay. Now, Alfie, it's so good to see you again and again and again.
Likewise.
Alfie,
Yes.
Thank you for accepting my invitation
It's my
to the
pleasure.
Doris Hall James Indie
Pleasure.
Show. And I'm honored for this.
Mhm.
Okay? It's hard to catch up with you.
The honor is mine.
But the honor's yours, the honor's mine too. And it's hard to catch up with you, but I did.
Okay.
And we're trying to make this interview happen, right?
Right.
And this time, we're going to make it happen.
Right.
Okay?
We're on the case.
Now, are you ready to take us and travel? We're going to travel with you through your musical journey.
Indubitably.
Okay. Okay, so begin telling us when and how your musical journey began.
Well, I was born and raised in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania. My mother played the violin. She was an artist. My father played the cello and the Black Symphony Orchestra called the Philadelphia Concert Orchestra. And we had a piano in the home. I was the firstborn, and my brother and sister followed. And we had a piano in the home, so they gave me piano lessons when I was 3 years old. Took me to my godmother's around the corner from us, Teresa Adele Tucker. Matter of fact, she's a cousin of Richard Tucker, the guitarist.
Okay, the guitar player?
In Philadelphia.
Okay.
Called Rich Boy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So had piano lessons, and through that played a lot of different recitals,
Mm-hmm.
and with a lot of other students, younger and older. And yeah, that's where that started.
Okay, and that's how it first started.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, I just want to add something. Alfie, you teach, right?
Yes, I do teach.
He still teaches
I teach
piano,
and I study.
and you study.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he does all that, and you still produce and all those
Produce
kind of
music
things.
and, so-called create music and program music
Mhm.
and play live music and recording sessions with live people, and also, create soundscape for like recordings, singers and etc.
So you have all these transferable skills
Yes, ma'am.
because you can do almost anything. I've seen
sometimes.
you sit down and compose songs.
Yes.
And you went from the beginning and took it to the end.
Matter of fact, we've collaborated together.
We've collaborated on a song, and that song is "Lord, You've Been So Good to Me."
That's right.
Okay, so we collaborated on that.
Great title.
It's a great title. It's a true title.
It's a true title.
Okay, and it should be coming out soon in the near future.
Right.
Okay. Now, who gave you your first kind of break, as we say? Who did that? Who discovered you?
Okay. Well,
Was it me?
no, I was gonna say my father is gonna break my neck, but
Okay.
Nate Murray gave me my first gig. Nate Murray lived in Philadelphia, and he heard about me through, I don't know how, but he drafted me into his band, and
Okay.
he was coming out to Bryn Mawr, bring me down to Lancaster Avenue. We played in places like the Carnival Bar, we played the Panther Bar, and we had great people in the band. We had his cousin Jimmy Turner on drums, Earl and Carl Grubbs on saxophones, Sometimes Raheem, Charles Truxton would play with us,
Mm-hmm.
Brian Everett, and different people.
Mhm.
And so, we played in clubs. And when I started out playing in clubs, I was underage, but under Nate's supervision,
Mm-hmm.
well, he got me to join the musicians unit, and then he had to look out for me in clubs, make sure, I wasn't drinking and stuff like that. Make sure I was dressed properly for whatever the occasion the gig called for. We were doing. Whether it was in a club, or it was a party, private party, or wedding reception, or whatever.
So how long did you stay with Nate Murray?
Number of years. I'm not just sure exactly how long, but and they had illustrious, famous people in his band, like Robert Washington, Earl Young,
really?
the drummer from the Tramps, George Howard, Sonny Fortune, and on and on and on and on, like hot butter on popcorn.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
He's one of the greats that really needs more props.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him. Telling you, I'm trying to get him.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some people, now I can add you to the list,
Okay.
that's trying to get him over here too.
Okay. All right.
Okay? Okay, so after you did that, your recordings, when did you start recording? About when?
Well, we did some, guy named Maurice House used to come around. He had like a wire tape recorder, and he recorded some rehearsals and stuff, and maybe a couple of gigs,
And you started recording from that point on. And you said that you were a singer. I didn't know.
Yeah, well, we had a band. Well, we had a singer group from Bryn Mawr. Tony Watkins, Bobby Spady, Lonnie Saunders, a guy named Ron Kushner, Johnny Johnson, Alex Day. We sang. We were called the Pendergods. We had our own couple songs that were original songs. We had a song called Back to School, Vacation's Over, and there was a guy named Joe Stevenson who had an ad on WDAS for singing groups who come. He would rate them. He would rate them if they meet his requirements. He would offer them a recording contract, and it was just right up our line because we had outfits, we had our own choreography, and and we had our own original songs.
Okay.
So he really liked us, and we went there. And however, fate had it that we did not sign, and we remained friends, up until this day, and but parents, didn't want us to really
sign a contract.
They held us back, and we're still in counseling from that time and those experiences.
Yeah. Sometimes parents know best. They know best, and I think it worked out really well. Yes. At that time, so you didn't get tied up in those kind of contracts.
Still bitten by the bug, though.
Still bitten by the bug.
And then got into, years later, was introduced to songwriting.
Yeah, tell me about that when you were at Philly International.
Well, prior to that, I was, I had written some songs, some jazz songs. And then years later, some of my contemporaries, Billy Paul and Norman Connors, they had some records. They were sort of jazz advocates. And so years later, they had these records that became hits. And they were, I said, wow. So they deep into this R&B stuff. That's deep, what would make them do that? So I investigated, listened to the music, and I listened to the sound of Philly and stuff. I self-taught myself some songs, and so I read on liner notes about Philly International Records, MFSB, band, and Ken Campbell and his different people. So I went to Sigma Sound recording studios, and I met a guy named Larry Washington, who was a conga player for MFSB, and he, was amazed by me coming down there. Yeah. And so he said, "Let me hear you play something." So he took me to Studio B, just me and him in there, and I played a little medley of Philly stuff I made up. put together, and he said, "Well, look, this is great. Like my cousin Major Harris is going to be a big star. They're going to make a big star out of him. So they're going to need a band." So he hooked me up with the audition.
Oh, okay.
Man, I met Sugar Bear, the bass player, Michael Foreman, Sugar Bear, and through him, we worked with Major, and then he hooked me up with working with Barbara Mason and the Futures and Billy Paul, playing doing R&B, because I played with Billy doing jazz back before he became famous, and then Sugar Bear told me that this guy they called Rug, whose name was Theodore Pendergrass, they called him Teddy Pendergrass, and he was going to be a big star. He's going to leave Harold Melvin and Blue Notes. He's going to do a band. So one day he called me and said, Teddy left Harold and he needs a band, so we put a band together and rehearsed for almost a week. And at the end of that week, we did our first gigs with Teddy and three of the Blue Notes, Bernie, Larry, and Lloyd. Roy Parks, Bernie Wilson, and Larry Brown. And we toured with Teddy and the Blue Notes for a while. Then Teddy apparently got his recording situation with Kenny Gamble as a solo artist, and so our band continued touring with the Blue Notes with the Blue Notes, and they got another lead singer. And we toured, and then we ran into some people in Kansas City, and they wanted to start a new music mecca there. So I was writing. I was went there, and I had a songwriting partner. Well, during the time I got with Teddy, I used to go down to the International Records and write with some of the writers there. And one of them, Tom Warrington, when we got the situation in Kansas City, I invited him to be in Philly. We went to Kansas City, and Teddy's band, we, started music. Tried to, but it didn't continue. But we were there. We had an attempt, and then after being there for a while, came back to Philly. I got my job back. Sam Reed, who was Teddy's musical director, he got his job back, and the drummer got his job back. Myself, back with Teddy when Teddy went solo. Still, when I came back, I was writing for the International with some of the writers.
Right.
And so I could see, I was introduced to how, like a factory type mass production situation.
Yeah, tell me about that writing.
Learn how to write stuff pretty fast and write for a certain artist, because he was a blackboard for the International. Stating that, Dexter Wansell needed material, the OJs needed material, Jones Girls, Jane Carn, Phyllis Hyman, Dee Sharp Gamble, and MFSB, and on. So we,
And you said, I want to write for
I got bit by the bug. It was like Dracula bit me, and it's like, you get bit by a vampire.
Right.
Hey.
Well, one question. You said that they came to you and said, so-and-so is going to be a star, and so-and-so is going to... How did they know that?
Well, because...
Because there's so many artists down there, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of artists down there. OJ's
because of the history, see, with WMOT, We Men of Talent, some of us have some other... Well, anyway, nice fellas,
Yeah, they were nice.
They put us on, on the map, kind of like. And so they had history with Blue Magic. Blue Magic went gold and then platinum. So with their record, and other people in the industry looking at them, at their record, and so they, it was almost a given that they're going to have success. Had the Midas touch, so-called. So Larry was part of that process, playing on all his records. So, he could speak, really honestly, and it came true.
It came true. Okay, because I thought it was maybe something special that they did to make him a star, or, because they knew ahead of time.
Yeah, they
had a formula for it.
It worked.
Okay. Were the OJs there at that time? Did they come in there?
Well, the OJs, no, they were with Philly International.
Right. Yeah, they were with Philly.
WMOT had Major Harris and what was it?
Yeah, Major Harris and Ted Mills.
Yeah, Margie Joseph, Blue Magic. And,
Yeah, it is. Fat Larry's band.
Fat Larry's
Yeah,
band,
they
right?
had that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they had a proven track record. And they had this Philly sound. They had people like Norman Harris,
Mm-hmm.
great producer and
Mhm.
arranger, and all those people over there. They had Ronnie Baker and Earl Young, and all the greats players
So nowadays,
who had track records of like that era of the disco.
you're just
And Earl was the
Okay.
father of disco drumming.
yeah.
And
I see Earl.
and house music drumming also.
I saw him on a video the other day,
Mhm.
Earl,
Yeah.
young, and he was just dancing and dancing and dancing.
Yeah, well, see,
Yeah.
Earl, I'm his musical director for his tramps.
Yeah, he was really
And
dancing.
he's, in fact, we played a gig in Asbury Park, New Jersey, a few months ago on his 78th birthday. And we celebrated his birthday on doing a gig together. He was leading the choreography.
Yeah, I think maybe that's what I saw.
Working the crowd.
Yeah, because it was really,
had
really
the crowd.
great.
Yeah.
Isn't that something else?
He's one of my heroes. And he used to work with Nate Murray as well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
I'll tell you, he worked at the Uptown Theater. He's a house drummer. He worked with Nate Murray.
such a wonderful musical background. You know so many people. You've been so many places. You performed so many places, and when we think about how you've been blessed and how we've been blessed to have someone like that around us and providing us with such great music all these many years. Lots of times we say to ourselves, we love this song, we love this music, we love this keyboard player or whatever, but sometimes we really don't know who the keyboard player may be, or we hear a song and we really don't know at that point who wrote the song, but it keeps our music alive. And behind all of that, I do believe that you were behind many, many of those songs that we said that we love, the songs that we enjoy, especially with a lot of stuff that they did with Teddy Pendergrass.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was great. Okay. Now, it's something else that's going on with Fox.
George Fox?
Tell us about that.
Okay, George Fox.
Uh-huh.
I've been his musical director for the last about 8 years, and he is a fellow who looks similar to Teddy Pendergrass, sounds almost identical to him.
Oh, okay.
And I've been his musical director, and we do it. In fact, he and I, we met back in the 80s, during the time when after Teddy had his automobile injury.
Mm-hmm.
We had a band that came out of that. Teddy's bass player, Norman Smith, Teddy's guitar player, Robert Wildwater Grant, and myself formed a band called House. And we had Lawrence Newton, they call him Weeze. He's the lead singer for Urban Guerrilla Orchestra, was our lead singer, and Lonnie Berry was our drummer, and he also was our second lead singer. And we had a band called House, and we, did a lot of stuff. And we had a voice coach named Jerry Reed, and also George Fox attended. That was his voice coach, and I met him back then.
Oh,
and then I got reunited with George at Teddy's funeral.
Mm-hmm.
We went to the funeral together.
Mm-hmm.
Went to the viewing.
Mm-hmm.
It was 2 days. It was the viewing one day, funeral the next day. So George was there, and he and Bobby Eli and I were interviewed by, I think it was Daily News, about Teddy, because people said, "Is you Teddy's brother?" Talking about George, not me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But
George Fox.
Yeah, George Fox.
Okay.
So George, we decided, to give a stab at starting doing it like a Teddy tribute band thing, and then it became 8 years, and it sounded almost like going to a Teddy show.
Oh,
unfortunately, George had a stroke last 2 months ago. He's in rehab right now. He sounds really great on the phone. Talking with him, I haven't been to see him. He's up there. The lights do right, and so we pray for him, You know,
Okay.
and you come back
So
strong.
we want to say a prayer for George Fox.
That's right.
That he gets well and he's able to come back and continue his musical journey.
And George looked out for me when I had an injury. I broke my arm.
Okay.
And him and his wife Bessie over there. You know.
Okay, I can't see all the names here, but the ones, Rhonda, hello,
He got a
Leo,
friend over there, Leo.
Leo. Now, you know, Facebook, you can ask us
Leo
questions.
Gatson.
Yeah, you can ask us some
Mhm.
questions. And while we have Alfie here, Alfie can answer. So feel free to ask us some questions. Kent, how are you? Anna, Douglas, how are you doing? And you're listening and tuned in to Philly Live Radio.
Leo says you're his big brother. Is that right?
Oh, Leo, Leo's big brother?
Oh yeah, I'm his big brother. That's right. He's a great music promoter. He has a group, organization called the Producers Guild.
Okay.
And he gives a lot of great concerts, jazz
Okay, I can
concerts.
write Leo's name down, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
You need to get him in here.
Get him in here,
Leo.
right?
Okay.
Leo, get ready.
Okay.
He'll be in here. You're in here. Can put a fork in him. He's done. My main man. So, and Leo's brother, Norman, John Coltrane's cousin Mary Alexander,
Okay.
sold the John Coltrane house to Leo's brother, Norman Gasson. And I've been his musical director at the Coltrane house. And then Norman passed, and his wife, Lenora Early, she was receivership at the Coltrane house, and I was her music director. She's passed, and her daughter is now, and I'm her musical director also. So we're supporters of the Coltrane house,
Okay.
and the prayers that we need that Coltrane has to come back, and it's a world icon destination for us all,
Okay.
right here in Philadelphia, Strawberry Mansion area,
Okay.
neighborhood.
Now, you have so much experience and you're still working hard. I mean, like you
I'm not
work
trying
all
to
the
take
time.
over your TV
You're not taking a show. I'm gonna tell you now.
Okay.
You're not gonna take my job.
I don't know where
okay?
that came from. I have this
That's what you get ready to say.
I have
I
these
never do
attacks.
that. But with all that experience and everything,
And I applaud what you're doing.
and we're trying
Doing. Yes,
because, like, we don't want our music to die. We want to
Right.
keep it alive.
that's right.
And it's so many of you that are still working. You're still booming. You're still doing
Advocates
things.
for the music and
Right.
keep it.
And we
pushing the music.
started this here to patronize you and promote the things that you're doing. Okay? And we have another group that we put names in, and we contact you and you contact us of all the performances, where you're going to be. And then Gilbert runs it through Philly Live Radio, and we promote the event.
Yes, that's
Okay.
great.
So it's going to continue, and it's going to be done for our artists to keep our music alive.
Excellent.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, the younger generation who's trying to get into music, what kinds of things would you tell them?
Well, the music scene has changed drastically from during the era of the golden age of, sound of Philadelphia back in the 70s, 80s, whatever. And so, it's good to learn as much as you can about music, to, learn how to play music, and writing music, and try to do the best music you can do, as far as because music at the era that we came from is music that's good medicine. That's a lot of people have, like with Teddy Pendergrass, they were conceived through some of the ballads he did,
Yeah. Yeah.
and others,
Yeah.
Billy Paul and
Mm-hmm.
Major Harris and on and on.
Mhm.
Traps.
So good music.
Good music.
Good music. I know we interviewed Sonny Hobson
Okay.
some time ago,
Mhm.
and he kept saying,
Soul Sound Sunny.
"Yeah, the Mighty Burner," and he kept saying, when we asked, "Well, how did you choose the music?" He kept saying, "It was good music. I played good music." So that's how he chose the cuts that he wanted to play.
Mhm.
But tell me about your affiliation with Marty Gibbs, because we had him in here. He said you were
Okay.
his musical director or something.
Well, he, well, for my 70th birthday celebration,
Uh-huh.
Producer of the, stage manager and what have you, production manager. Well, Marty, I met Marty when he was as young, like a child, like in Ardmore.
Okay.
And there was a place called the Soul Shack, which was part of the Ardmore Avenue Community Center.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'd be down there, and there was a piano there. And, every day Marty would be playing, attempting to play Stand By Me over and over and over. And got on, got to me.
It got to you.
It got on my nerves.
It got to you.
It got on my nerves.
Okay.
You said
The last one, every nerve seemed like, but he was diligent, and then we stuck together. And he had years later, he's opened his own record shop.
Yeah.
Sound of Norristown, and
Mm-hmm.
very, great guy. He's part of the hip hop, like with Lady B, and part of that.
Okay.
The whole arm of the music, and has done a lot of things. He managed Jeff Bradshaw. He was his first manager, and then he's done stuff with a lot of people. A lot of people, hip hop and R&B and what have you. And he was a head of a distribution firm called The Firm, and he was the president of that.
Okay.
And during that time, I was blessed to be selected by Will Smith's father, Will Smith Sr.
Yeah, that's the album that you had an album
he
out.
did an album.
Okay. What was the name of the album?
Well, Will's father named it Alfie, and it's a jazz. His label was called Philly Through My Ear, and that was his first artist. And we did a trio album, jazz trio, all original stuff. And
Who made up the trio?
Eddie Jones, he's passed on, and Mike Boone on bass. Eddie on drums, and Mike Boone on bass. Myself on piano. It's like 10 of my original so-called jazz pieces. And they were in the firm's catalog, and had them in different distribution outlets.
Okay. So you started out playing R&B. Is that correct?
No, I started out
Jazz.
playing Western classical music.
Classical music.
And then,
Okay.
then I got introduced to Afro-Cuban
Afro-Cuban.
back in the 50s,
Mhm.
and then music from New Orleans,
Mhm.
Lord Richard, Fats Domino, Lloyd Price, all that kind of music.
Mhm.
Then I got introduced to Miles Davis, John Coltrane,
Okay.
Campbell Adderley,
Okay.
Ahmed Jamal, all those kind of folks, and then got reintroduced to the Philly sound music,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have a jazz quartet band or something?
Well, we have a trio.
Trio.
Richard Hill on bass,
Okay.
and Alan Nelson on drums. Also, I'm part of a group, a label called Philly, not Philly Through My Ear, but Mo Philly International Records. Melvin and Mervyn Steels.
Oh, chairman of the board.
Right, Melvin and Mervyn Steels,
Okay.
who wrote the song Could It Be I'm Falling in Love? Big hit on the Spinners.
Mhm.
They started the label along with McKinley Jackson. Well,
Okay.
McKinley was Williams' last musical director. Otis of the Temptations, remaining surviving Temptation, and also prior to that, he was Marvin Gaye's last musical director. So McKinley lives in Detroit, and Melvin and Mervyn Steels there from Philadelphia. in Pittsburgh, and so they started a label called Mo, like Motown, Philly, International Records, and I've been the contractor for a lot of their putting together the rhythm section bands. Like we had the bass player from the OJs, Jimmy Williams, Tony Jones on bass, Lonnie Berry on drums, Greg Hill, my who was my roommate when I was with Teddy Pendergrass, as a percussionist with Teddy, and lamb chops on keyboards, and done a lot of things. George Bussey on saxophone. So we have a group that we currently putting together to go out and tour some of this music as a instrumental group, promoting songs that Melvin and Mervyn have written, and then possibly some songs that I and others have collaborated on.
Well, Alfie, how do you stay in contact with all these people? Do you stay in contact with these people?
Yeah, telephone.
Telephone all the time?
Mm-hmm.
And they can catch you?
It's an invention that's been around.
Alfie. So you really stay in contact with them.
Yes.
And you know, like, where they're going and what they're doing, and they know the same thing about you, right?
Well,
and if you need them, you can go to them and vice versa, right?
Right. In fact, Melvin and Mervyn, well, they were producing material on a group called the Chairman of the Board. Okay. And Melvin and I co-wrote one of the songs, a song called No One Else's R&B Ballad. So, and Marty gives his work with us with that.
Yeah.
We did a meet and greet down at Philly Cam.
Mm-hmm.
People powered radio, people powered media, downtown Philly.
Okay.
Philly Cam.
Yeah. So now, what's in store for you now? I mean, but before I ask you that, let's talk about how you sit down and you produce these songs for people. Okay? Tell me a little bit about that. And how long does it take?
Well, say with this piece with Melvin and I wrote, and it was like I was inspired by the creator to come up with a music track, and I, sent it to Melvin, and so he was inspired. He said the song spoke to him, words came to him, and he created this song, and it's also dedicated to his wife.
Okay. And a track like that, Adrena?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Adrena. Hello, Adrena. Okay. And how long does it take to create a track?
It's a variable. Sometimes really fast, sometimes longer.
Okay, so it just depends.
Yep.
Okay.
Can I ask something?
Yes.
Sure.
Alfie, what do you think is the major difference between the songs that you create from the history that you come from and the songs that are created by the young folks today?
Well, like one thing, I had piano lessons and music lessons and stuff.
Right.
And I've been around, in the studio. I've been in recording sessions where people, like string section,
instruments.
Instruments, right. Like, for an example, Teddy Pendergrass wanted to do a Barry Manilow tune. He wanted to cover a song called This One's For You, which that song was dedicated also to his manager who was killed, Taz Lang. And so him, Teddy, and Sam Reed, who was our musical director for Teddy, they co-produced the record. And we all had input, so it was the entire Teddy band and the background singers, and we went in the studio and we cut the rhythm tracks of the song. And then there were sessions with we call them the girls, the background singers. They recorded their part, and then I remember Roland Chambers producing the strings on the song, and I was in a session when they was had the charts written out of me,
So do we do that today?
Well, Roland and Jack Fate, between them, they did.
But do we do that?
Well, a lot of them use loops now today.
Loops,
What's
right?
a loop?
A loop is like a pre-recorded event of a song
Over and over again.
The sample
Yeah.
that's recorded and it's played
Over and
over
over.
and over again.
Yeah.
Like
No, because I heard a couple songs recently, and it was the same thing. I said, that sounds just like the other song. That's because it was a loop.
yeah, like for an example, like Biggie did a song that don't know, now you know,
Right,
nigga.
you know.
The N word, you know what I mean? And it was a loop of one of a good friend of ours, and two May's Juicy Fruit.
Okay, yeah.
It was a segment of that we kept repeating over and over and over.
Okay. Okay, so now, where are you going to be next? Are you performing? Are you, what are you going to be doing next? Traveling? Tell me.
Well, we're young, you know, we have different situations that come up. And then we're planning on, with Melvin and Mervyn City, with Mo Philly International, planning on doing a tour of some of the songs that they've written, and then doing these as instrumentals. And like, there's a song that they wrote, and Melvin and I did the vocals and lyrics, and it's going to promote the record label, and they dance.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yep.
Okay, now you play R&B and jazz.
Right.
And then I found out that you play spirituals too.
Right.
So you can play anything. You can read music and you can play anything.
Secular, not anything, but you know, something like
don't be modest.
children, like I've written children's music. My main songwriting partner, James Solomon.
Yeah, James Solomon.
We wrote 17 songs for a musical play called 3D plus 3. And Karen Smith was a playwright, Sol, we call him Sol, and James Solomon, him and Eddie Holman Sr., they started out writing together. They had a hit out called Can This Be True Girl? You know, they wrote that. But we wrote 17 songs. And these songs are different genres, including one song is a hip-hop song. We did a song that's like a 50s R&B doo-wop piece.
You do it all. You do it all.
Mm-hmm.
You do it all.
We do a lot of things.
And that's good. And that's
I don't
good.
do any Armenian music, not yet. Or polkas. Well, I like polkas.
Alfie
Don't
tells
you
a
like
lot
polkas
of
too?
jokes and stuff, but
Don't you like polkas too?
I love it.
Oh, that's so nice.
I mean, he tells jokes.
Hey Alfie, back in the day, in like the 70s and 80s or whatever, did you ever go down to Hollywood Palace at all?
I went to Hollywood Palace. Well, I met Nina Simone. We became good friends. We went down there one time.
Okay.
You know, I went down there. I played maybe a couple times. You know, had some gigs.
It was fun down there, wasn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was really fun.
Fun and funny.
I can
You see,
imagine.
1 second, I want to say hi to Anna again, and Douglas and Kent. Hi, Tanya, Leo, and Rhonda. Thanks for joining us on Philly Live Radio. You're listening.
Oh,
to Philly
Rhoda,
Live Radio.
Rhoda.
What do you say? You say?
Rhoda,
Can you
yeah,
say?
Rhoda. Hey, Rhoda, how you doing? Yeah.
Oh, Rhoda.
Yeah, from the Man Musical Center.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're glad you guys.
I
We're
grew up with her
glad that you
cousin.
joined us today,
Her
right?
cousins. Yep.
Okay. Now, Alfie, do you have anything else that you want to say to your audience today? Look at them, Alfie.
Audience. Well, we all can use some help as support of what we do. You know, like I do music. I've done a lot of stuff like this. James Solomon and I, we did and Walter Surrey, we did the theme for the Juneteenth holiday called No Longer Bound. And also James and I, Solomon, we did a piece for Jazz on the Ad. We did a radio ID drop theme that was used to promote on the radio the festival. We do a lot of things, and you know, like I was part of the Black Music Association, and doing the Black Music Association, we wrote a song, about 16 of us, called The Flame of the BMA. And the theme of the motto of the BMA is Black Music is Green. But to keep this music going, we all need finances, you know.
Right.
James Salmon and I, we're part of the Uptown Theater to help bring that back. That needs finances. We need finances to be able to go and be able to do what we're doing, to be on the radio and,
Right.
you know, and all that. And we are open to those in support. We will do a great job. We will work for food.
I know. I know you will. And we're going to do our best here at the Indie Show, sponsored by Philly Lock Radio.
And we're not just trying to take people's money and run it, give them any old garbage.
No, I know. You're performers.
Yeah.
And I know the show will be great. Anything
that put a lot of long years into it.
Right. It's going to be great.
Try to give our very best every time.
But we're trying to put things together. Well, I shouldn't say we're trying. We will put things together so that we can have, maybe in the spring, we can have a select artists come in and do something like that, you know, and start it all up again. Because I think here in Philadelphia, we need that. We need to help promote you
and other
keep
markets,
your music
you know, not
alive.
only Philly, Detroit,
Right.
New Orleans, Pittsburgh, and on.
Yeah, well, fortunately, we are.
Out of time.
No.
Oh,
I didn't say
okay.
unfortunately.
Oh,
You say
okay.
fortunately.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, don't touch
No,
me.
I'm sorry. But you know
We're
what?
an internet radio station. We're around the world.
Okay.
Right. That's great.
So Detroit can pick us up if we got some friends that happen to know how to get to Philly Loud Radio. You got a friend over here. I guess he hollering at you. What, Joseph Smith?
What?
Don't know Joe Smith?
Wait a minute. I know that name.
Yeah, well, he's just saying hello.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
You all right?
Yes.
Okay. So where are you going to be next?
Well, got a few things that are not confirmed right now. But I'm working with one of my partners, lady named Shirla Smith. She created a dance and she asked me to do the song for this dance, you know. So the song is based on the Philly bop. And so that's one of the things that we, you know.
That reminds me, you're a teacher. You teach dancing,
I teach
right?
dance and I study dance.
Okay, and what do you teach?
I teach dances like the bop, the strand, cha-cha, some salsa, and a couple of line dances, but mostly partner dances. I've studied with the master partner dance teacher in the Philadelphia area, Mr. Otis Gibbons.
Okay.
I've been with him close to about 10 years, and, you know, so.
Well, how do you get a chance to do all that?
Well,
You
there's
teach-
opportunities.
Do you
know.
sleep?
No, yes. I don't sleep upside down from the rafters like black people. I don't do that, you know, yet. However,
Okay.
who knows?
Well, I'm excited. I'm really excited about this interview because there's so many things that you've done, and people want to hear that. You know, we need to hear all the things that's going on in this music industry, and we need to promote all of you that are still working.
And the young and the
young needs to
younger,
hear
we
too.
need to embrace each other and
Yeah.
you know,
And the
cross-reference.
The younger musicians and entertainers and stuff, they need to know about what you're doing and what you've been through and what you've done. And we need to know a little bit about and understand what they're doing here. That makes us a whole.
That's
We
right.
need to promote each other. We have all these pieces of the pie, and now it's time we put them all
Yeah, we circle
together.
wagons.
Right. We put them all together, and we make this work for us.
Yes,
Okay?
I agree.
Okay then, Alfie, I think that's about it if you don't have anything else. But listen, I want you to commit to coming back,
Okay.
okay? And coming back and doing
To
an
Sorrento.
update. To what?
Back to Sorrento.
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 Coming back
Sorrento,
to Philly Live.
Shane, Lassie, come home.
Come back so that you can continue and update us on your musical journey,
Sure.
okay? And maybe the next time,
The creator willing, yes.
yeah, if the creator is willing to do that. Okay, because I
Sure.
know when you leave here, you're on your way to play somewhere, do something else. So
Right.
just keep us
I believe I'm
informed.
going to be playing right over here.
Okay.
He can take us right on out, but
Okay, take us on
Oh,
out.
really?
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
really?
Oh,
Take you
really?
out.
Take us out.
Uh,
Okay. a selection.
Thank you.
Bye,
Yes,
Alfie. Thank
my
you
pleasure
so much.
indeed.
My pleasure too.
And will you let go?
Okay.
Thank you.
Get off it. Okay, take us out, Alfie.
All right, ladies and
Okay.
gentlemen, Alfie Pollit doing his thing.
He's a great person. Yeah. Sandy, I hope you're listening. Woo, thank you. Thank you.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night. I mean, good day.
Close out.
Okay. Thank you for your support.
Sure. I won't be invited back.